What's up, guys? All right, knife number 2 in the Kansept knives review series. Again, I'm impressed with the quality, the materials, just the overall ergos of these knives. For the price, very, very good, very good. So far, this one is my favorite. When I first opened them, I thought the, what's the name of it? Not the Main Street. I thought the Sprite was going to be my favorite, but this one ended up being my favorite. You know, I'm a big fan of the ZT 0562 carbon fiber. I've actually bought this knife a couple of times, and it was actually in my pocket just now. It's the one I carry when I'm working around the house on the weekends. There's a correlation between the two, right? There's a little bit of similarity. Actually, we can do a size comparison. Look at it now. They're pretty similar. Okay, so when you're talking about titanium scales inlaid with carbon fiber, S35 Vent, this one's a little bit schmudgy. I really have used these knives. I wanted to know exactly what I was reviewing. My other stuff is knife overview / review. I get in and look at it, and then later I might do a follow-up review. These are actually reviews. These are new knives, so I want to know. I want to know about them. I want to be able to report accurately. One of my favorite things about this knife is the finish of the blade. I'm a big fan of the stone wash and then polish over the stone wash. A lot like the Schlicht Bowie, the Spyderco Schlicht Bowie had. It just feels awesome. These knives come razor sharp. You know, it seems like the larger, older knife manufacturers, sometimes you get a sharp knife, sometimes you don't, but I can tell you they're never that sharp. I mean, you can't even hardly, that's my error. You can't even hardly hear that thing going through the paper. I mean, that is great. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, and we've talked about this before on lots of other knives, is the recurve. But I know I've seen pictures, they offer this knife in a different blade that doesn't have that recurve in there. If I were gonna purchase one of these, that's the one I would purchase. The reason is I'm a knife sharpener. This is a pain in the ass to sharpen. It's unless you have the recurve stones, and this one actually is not recurved enough that you can't use a flat stone. It's just a pain to do. Wears your stones unevenly, and it just doesn't jive with the way we sharpen knives. Function-wise, it functions a little better than a straight knife. I mean, when you go to do a draw cut, it actually grabs on whatever you're cutting. It works really, really well. It's just a pain in the ass to sharpen. Not impossible. These knives, all of them, have great actions. They're all running on bearings, and they're not guillotine drop shut. They're just drop shut like they're supposed to be. And they all fit your hands like they're supposed to. Everywhere I put my big 8 pans, they fit. I mean, the jimping's where it's supposed to be. This one actually has a thumb stud that works. You know, the 0562, that's not a thumb stud. Those are blade stops. You physically cannot open the knife with that. I like that. I like thumb openers and I like thumb studs. I'm a big fan of those. Not a huge fan of flippers. This one I find myself using the flipper quite a bit just because it's so effortless. Anyway, that is just a great knife. Let's look at it up against a couple other knives. Strider S&G. You can see it's in the kind of overbuilt category, and it holds its own in that category. Let's look at the new Benchmade Mini Adamas that there's nothing mini about. The first mini I've ever liked of any knife. The classic Benchmade 940, 2001. And the knife every knife maker knows, the Sebenza. And 31 in this case. So, my final thoughts. All the other knives I reviewed, I think were under $200. I think this one's right at $200 for big overbuilt titanium knife on cage bearings with thick S35 VN, beautiful finish, razor sharp, great action. What more do you want? I mean, it's there. I mean, this is a great, beautiful knife you can use because it didn't cost $500, $600. But it's nearly in that category. I'm not calling this knife a mid-tech by any means, but for the price, this is a killer knife, guys. Anodized pivot with a pivot collar. I mean, this is killing it. There's the back side, spring side. I believe it has a lock bar insert, over travel stop, milled titanium pocket clip. I mean, come on. Beautiful packaging. Comes in this pouch. Very nice. Very nice presentation. I think Kansept is really making a mark for themselves. I really do. I think they're going to be around. They're putting their stamp on us, and they're what they're doing, I think, is following us in the groups and seeing what we like, see what we're buying, see what we're talking about. And that's what makes a killer company. I'll tell you another company that does that too is Olight. Olight, you'll see when their drops come out, the new drop, the next drop they have coming out, all the things that they're releasing are things we've talked about in the groups, things we want in flashlights and other type of lights. They're a company that really pays attention to what's going on and what their customers want. And when you do that, you have a bunch of happy customers. Seems like these guys are doing the same thing. They're not just following yesterday's news. They're keeping up with the trends. So anyway, guys, the Kansept Delta Designer Jelly Jerry. This one's my favorite so far. So stay tuned. We got one more knife to go. I'll carry it for a couple of weeks and do a review on it. And so far, Kansept's here to stay. They get 2 thumbs up in my book. Guys, have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. All right.